Hey guys, it's Jen from over at worldofjencraft.com, and this is our project for today. So first off, I want to apologize for the sound quality. My battery ran out of my microphone and I'm not quite sure how to replace it right now because my hubby was the one who set it all up for me. That's kind of one of the, I guess, drawbacks to kind of getting used to my new microphone setup. I did a video before this one and realized after the fact that I ran the battery out, but I still had it plugged into my camera. So all these technical difficulties, but I'm going to bring this project to you anyways. So this is it. Isn't this cute? So this is a little envelope gift card holder, and it was created using the envelope punch board. So I have to admit I have not purchased it yet. However, I was on Pinterest the other day and saw some really cute projects that I wanted to make, and of course they were made using the envelope punch board. However, my BFF happens to have one and she let me borrow it. So I'm going to be putting it on my next order. It is just... there's so many cute things out there. So if you either don't have it, go on Pinterest and do a search on it and see how many different things there are out there. It's crazy. You can do so much with it. If you do have one and haven't really played around with it, I highly encourage you to just kind of browse around Pinterest and see what you can do with it. Get that thing out, dust it off, and have some fun. Let's get to the supplies and I will show you how to make this. It's so stinking simple and yeah, so let's get on. What is this? Whisper White Baker's Twine. Pool Party Shimmer Ribbon. I'm down to my very end of this. Early Espresso is the ink that I used for this. The Hexagons embossing folder, but this would be so cute either not embossed or with whatever embossing folder you have on hand. I just, you know me and my hexagons. Hedgehugs is the stamp set that I used, but I also took the Sentiment from Fruit Basket for this one. Layering Circles Framelits. A Daffodil Delight Stampin' Write marker. I did find that this worked better than the alcohol, the Stampin' Blends, especially with using it with the Early Espresso pad. And then, of course, the envelope punch board. The cardstock that I use, look at this. It's like, it's seriously next to nothing. So I used a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 crumb cake cardstock, and then a scrap for stamping our little hedgehog on it because we're going to cut him out. And then Pool Party is a 2.5 inch circle. Daffodil Delight is 2 3/8 inch. And Whisper White is 2 1/8. Let's pull out our punch board and I'll show you how this bad boy works. It's seriously, it's cool. I have the gift bag punch board, which I absolutely love, but man, this is kind of fun. So, first of all, I know it's probably kind of hard for you guys to see, but you have all of these different dimensions here, sorry about the glare, for the different card sizes. This can go up to a 6 by 8.5 card size, which is an 11 by 11.5 by 11.5 piece of paper. The project that I found on Pinterest was for a 3 by 3 card size. So you just come over here and you look at your little 3 by 3, and it tells you you need a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper. And then it even tells you where to score at, which is 2 5/8, and it has all these little measurements up here. So let's start off, and I'm just going to line this up with the 2 5/8 inch line. And I'm going to punch and then take the little bone folder that comes with it, and we're just going to score down this line. And we're going to turn it, line it up with your 2 5/8, and this also helps here so you're lined up with that score line with this little piece that comes out. So we're going to punch and score. Line it up, punch and score, and then line it up one more time And this time we are only going to punch. We're not going to score this last line. So then you'll take your punch board all the way around to this back side now, and you're going to just put your cardstock in here, and that is going to round each of the corners. Just like that. Now we're going to just take our little bone folder here, and we're going to crease each of these lines. Then, using adhesive, and I used a little bit stronger adhesive, so I just used the Fast Fuse, which I'm going to be so sad when this is no longer available in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. I've really come to love that stuff. So I'm going to fold in both of my little sides here. As you see, there's not a score line up here at the top, so we're not going to fold this one. But we are folding in these, and then this is going to come over the top, and that is going to create our little pouch. How stinking clever is that? Let's grab out our embossing folder and the Big Shot. And the reason I am, well, there's a couple reasons. It just happened to work out this way. Because the 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 is too large for this particular embossing folder, you could do it with the 6 by 6 embossing folders. But because this one is smaller, I went ahead and just folded everything up ahead of time, and it fit. So I'm using the original platform that came with my Big Shot. Yes, I took the sticker off. Don't ask why. I guess it just bugged me. I thought it was supposed to come off, but apparently it's not. So that's just going to go on there. We're going to put one plate on top of it because it is the dynamic textured embossing folder. So that's all you need is this platform and one plate on top. If you have the magnetic platform is just a little bit thicker than the original one, and it won't work through it. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through, and it does get a little bit sticky, but it's not horrible. It's not like I'm straining it or anything to pull it through or to roll it through. So we'll grab this out, and there it is. How fun is that? I just love the texture that this embossing folder gives. I will be so sad if and when this folder goes away. So right now we're done. We don't need to do anything else with this. So let's go ahead and bring in our other pieces and stamp. So we're just going to take the hedgehog, and I want to make sure he's nice and inked up because it does take a little bit more ink to get onto the crumb cake cardstock. So that one will work. And then I'm going to pull out my circle and stamp on this as well. And I'm going to stamp just a little bit up from the bottom so I have room for my sentiment down here so I have room for the sentiment down here at the bottom, which reminds me, this is it, and I just chose this because it fit. I don't know about you guys, sometimes if I'm just randomly making cards, I just find sentiments that fit the area after I've stamped it. So that's just going to come down here. We're going to set this aside for a minute, and I'm going to cut out my little hedgehog. The video that I did before this one, the one that had no volume, and I could have done a voiceover, but I really dislike doing voiceovers. So anyways, that was kind of a squirrel moment. The video I did before this one, I kept calling it a hedgehug because that's the name of the stamp set. So yes, the hedgehog, and I am just coming out, I don't know, maybe about a 1/16 of an inch away. I didn't want too much of it, of the crumb cake to show, but I also didn't want to spend the time that it took to cut exactly on the image itself. So I'm just kind of rounding out going around these little hairs, I guess, of the hedgehog. And I'm a little bit slower in my cutting. And sometimes it's harder for me to talk while I'm cutting. You know, it's doing two things at one, multitasking, which I am not the greatest at doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut around here, and I'm cutting off the flower because that is on our circle already. And I didn't want to cut the flower out because that just meant more precise cutting, and I didn't want to go to that much trouble. So, but I am going to cut around his little hand, and then we are almost done. So it doesn't take too long to cut out, and I do like having the extra dimension of having the image cut out. So, and you certainly don't have to. You can just leave it as it is on the Whisper White, and it turns out just as cute. So I'm going to pop him up using a few dimensionals. And then we're going to start assembling all of our little circles together. So I'm just going to stick him here on top, like that. And let's color in the little flower that he/she is holding. I did try putting Wink of Stella on the last one, but I found that the Wink of Stella was grabbing the ink from the early espresso, and it was kind of smearing it. So as much as I don't like to have a card without Wink of Stella or a project without it, I didn't like the way it muddied it up. So we're not using it on this card. Crazy. So there's that. And if you guys have noticed, if you've been watching me for a little while, I have been addicted to these colors. And I think it's just because I am so ready for spring. So it is April 2nd, and I live in Nebraska. And it has been snowing on and off pretty much all day today. It has not been accumulating, so I guess that's a good thing. But still, it's just, you know, the fact that it's cold enough for it to even be snowing is just kind of depressing, actually. I am ready for warm weather, sunshine, and flowers. So what I did is I put a glue dot on the back of this, and I'm going to just kind of throw this on here to see approximately where the center of my circle is. And then I'm just going to slide my ribbon underneath. And in theory, this really does work out, I promise. I guess maybe even more in theory. Let's see. So I'd like it probably about there. So I'm just going to stick that down and wrap it around. I'm running so low on this ribbon. It's been one of my favorite ones. It's just such a pretty ribbon. Now I'm going to take another glue dot and just put that on top. And then it's all going to be hidden underneath of our circles, so no one's going to ever see it. So we'll just wrap it around like that. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And I want to make sure that they go on either side of this little opening here. So I'm just going to make sure that when I flip this over, that part is up. And I'll throw on my dimensionals, just kind of on these four sides here. Two sides, four sides, top, bottom, left, right. Oh, you know, if there was only a use for these little papers that we take off, instead of, you know, I find them, I have my studio down here in the basement of my home, and we have a dormer, and I find these things upstairs in the dormer. It's crazy. I think the dog, it gets on his fur and he just takes it up with him. So that's just going to go there. And I should have just enough of this. I might see if I can take this tape off because I might use it all. And I'm going to grab out my punch. Now this is just one I picked up at Hobby Lobby because I needed a 1/4 inch punch. So try and get the center-ish here, which that did not work, but it's close enough. So we're just going to feed this through. Plenty! Now the thing is do I want to order more? I don't know. So then I'm going to take my baker's twine and just wrap it around and tie it. Just right about here. I'll just cut off the excess there, or from the little twine holder thingy, and create our little bow. So I'm just going to kind of grab it down here at the knot to hold on to it and pull in. And you can make it as, you know, big or as little as you want, but I think that's just about right, just like that. And then I'm just going to leave these kind of hanging down here. And then we'll just trim off the excess up here at the top. So like that. Then I kind of separate it a little bit, if I can grab it. Yeah, so just like that. And that is done. I have to look at it and make sure that I actually have everything done because it's so stinking simple. I feel like something else needs to be done. You could certainly add maybe some sparkle or rhinestones, or, well, I guess that's one and the same, sequins or something on here, but I thought it turned out cute just the way it is. See? Isn't that just sweet? Love it. There's so many different things you could do with this. So I have 3 of these, and honestly, I'm not going to have the need to send them or give them to anyone. So I think what I was going to do was, if you wanted to go to my website, worldofjencraft.com, not only can you find the dimensions, photo to be able to print out for yourself, but I thought if you wanted to leave a comment in the blog post itself, I will draw 3 people to send these to. So today is, oh, I guess today is April 3rd. I don't know why I was thinking April 2nd, so I'm a day behind. So today's April 3rd. I will draw April 5th, which is the day before I leave for onstage, and I will send 3 of you this little thing. If you're interested, it's kind of cute. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you like what you see, make sure to hit subscribe so you can be sent notifications when I upload my next video tutorial. Yeah, and I will check you guys later on my next tutorial. Thanks again. Bye.